Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Passing the Crown with me, Stelios. As you can see, I am supporting the EasyJet gear because I am joined by the icon, the legend, the moment. I'm joined by the no-nonsense, straight-talking, troubleshooting, absolutely amazing Jane Boulton.
Well, hi.
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 Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Well, I just wanted to jump in and just say thank you for coming here.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. I'm somewhere different today. I'm in a different location. I travelled here on EasyJet.
Did you know?
No.
Oh.
I jumped from Birmingham to, where are we?
Hackney.
Hackney.
East London.
East London. I travelled here today specifically to meet you.
Thanks.
I was told she doesn't travel unless it's on EasyJet, and we don't just fly EasyJet to Birmingham. So I thought, okay, I'll come down to Hackney.
So I drove to Hackney instead.
Yeah. Dragged us
I didn't have a private EasyJet flight here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
I'm really excited to delve deeper into the fact that you are a living legend. You are a reincarnated meme and GIF.
Yeah.
Is it a GIF or a GIF?
Don't ask me,
That's
darling.
all right. We just had a conversation
GIF,
before.
I think.
We had a conversation before about TikTok, and Jane was actually introducing me to some new things on TikTok.
Well, I don't know about that.
So I really, she's up with the world. As I say, I've got typewriters at home. Jane's got TikTok, and she's got 1.5 million views.
No, on the post, I think I've got 75,000 followers. 75,000 followers, around that mark.
And I can't even get a text back. And you've got this. Well, thank you so much. As I say, we're going to jump into some real life, juicy EasyJet gossip.
Good.
Hopefully, I'll get some free tickets somewhere from this.
Well, if you do, can I have some too? Because I don't get any either.
She's lying.
No, I don't.
She's off to Barbados next week.
I wish.
Do they fly to Barbados?
No, darling. No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's still time. I'll go. It's fine. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This for me, just so everyone knows, it's like a childhood dream come true. And that's not to make you seem really old, like I was a child watching you.
Yeah, that does make me feel old, but that's lovely also. Thank you.
No, I watched you with my nan. It's fine. So, me and my nan. So you've got the no-nonsense, straight-talking troubleshooter.
Mm-hmm.
That you are, and that you were, as well, Jane Boulton. Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming here.
You're welcome.
Let's jump straight in. How does it feel to be back being viewed by millions all over again?
Weird.
Yeah.
Like really weird. I think because at the time it was so huge. And then obviously life goes on, you change jobs, I've got married, I've got 3 children, and everything's normal. My kids always knew. I'd always said that there was this program that I had been on. They were a little bit like, oh, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I think the kids came home from school one day and said, oh my God, Mum, our friends are talking about you at school. It's so embarrassing. You've gone viral all over TikTok. And I was like, what? So I didn't even know how to use TikTok, let me tell you. So I just did this post on TikTok. Like, looking back, it was horrific. I just looked a mess. No makeup. I just looked a bloody state. And I did this TikTok where I think I did some voiceover thing of me calling someone a tosser. Anyway, and like literally within 2 days, it had like 1.5 million views. And I was like, really, what? What's going on? And then from there, it's just been, and I suppose that was about just over a year ago. Yeah. And it's still going on.
Oh yeah. There's almost not a day that goes by when I don't see a Jane Boulton meme.
Well, memes, I know, yeah. I mean, that's just mad.
I am telling you, I'm obsessed. I think I'm more obsessed now than I was. And I tell you what it was that had happened to me that kind of reintroduced you back into my life was, and this is my best voiceover voice, was this customer has gone to find a more sympathetic ear. Instead, she's found Jane Boulton.
I know. How embarrassing. I mean, God, they made me out to be such a bitch.
So speaking of that, how did that go against your performance reviews?
Well, actually, I think, God, I know, because people say to me, God, did you ever get in trouble? And like, actually, do you know what? No, I didn't, which I found amazing. Yeah. But I think, I suppose the people that I worked with and that were there knew the snippet that you got to see, I might have been with that person for at least 20 minutes. And then some of them, obviously, that missed their flights and they'd keep coming back and then they'd go away and then they'd come back and go away. And sometimes like up to 4 hours.
Oh.
So I think when people finally lost the plot, which didn't help when a camera was in their face and a mic was on the other side of their face. And I think, it aggravated people, and it certainly escalated the situation more than it probably would have been. And then, they say a lot of things that you didn't see on camera, and did a lot of things that you didn't see on camera. So, when it got to point of people calling you the F word and worse than that, and spitting and throwing luggage at your shins that was never really shown, that's when sometimes, I suppose for me, I did call someone a tosser once, and
once or twice, Jane.
Yeah,
once or twice.
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
As we say, we only saw them once or twice. As you say, it happened a lot more.
Well, we tried to make it to get back to the staff room where we'd all go, and then go back outside and go, good morning.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was a bit. Yeah, sometimes we lost it. We did, or I did,
which is normal. That's why I've only booked this room for an hour. Because
so don't beat you up.
Yeah. So. Talk to me about how it started then. So how long had you been in the airport by then, and then started recording?
I don't think I'd been there long. Definitely under a year, because I think they started filming around 97, 98, and I had only started, it must have been a year previous. And at the time I was check-in supervisor. So Stelios came over and said, look, we've got this idea. London Weekend Television, as it was back then, approached us and said they'd like this brand new fly on the wall documentary. They tried it with Britannia for one series and it hadn't gone too well. So they wanted to try it with EasyJet and see what happened. And I suppose from Stelios' perspective, it was free advertising, which it absolutely was. And it worked brilliantly for him. It was a great marketing initiative. So we were told, though, they're only going to follow you for a few weeks. But it just went on and on, like every shift. Bear in mind, we were on 12-hour shifts. You'd walk in and they would be there waiting with your mic to mic you up. And, and they were with you until the end of the day. And that happened, I suppose, continuously for me, 5 or 6 years, maybe more.
That is so unheard of now.
Yeah.
Because if you even look at, for example, the Real Housewives, they are not followed around for that long. They're followed around for 3 months.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And that's shown out over a year.
Yeah.
Yours was literally
continuous. And let me tell you, they got paid. If it was now, we'd be bloody millionaires. We got paid nothing.
So do you get nothing?
Nothing. They were very clever. Before even the first filming had been done, weeks before, all of us signed disclaimers. Yeah. So nothing.
That's what happened to S Club 7.
They
got nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
They were raking it in there. Their management were raking it.
Wow.
And Club 7 got pennies.
Wow.
I knew that because I learned it in maths.
God.
Because it was the only way my teacher would teach me anything
Oh.
about Club 7.
Oh, it's a good way to learn, though, isn't it?
And that's how
Maybe they could use me next time.
Jane Boulton got nothing.
Nothing.
She's got nothing in this hand, and EasyJet have got
nothing in
millions in this hand.
Yeah, I got a double page spread in Sunday Sport, which wasn't, obviously you can probably guess what the content of that was.
Okay.
Then I got told by EasyJet PR, well, you've made it when they've sold a sex story about you. So, okay, then. It didn't really happen like that, but okay. And then what else? Oh, and then I'd have strangers waiting by my car in the car park at night. Marriage proposals by a police officer saying I would be allowed to see my friends once a month if I wanted to. So obviously I accepted.
Okay.
Not.
And this is Jane's new husband.
We don't see her very often. She's not allowed out very often.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you've been there a year. You then when did you get used to it?
I think it took a few weeks to get used to the cameras.
Yeah.
Being there, I think it became second nature that you just knew they were there. I think what was always weird throughout the whole of the time was seeing back in the day when they used to advertise the TV shows in the magazines and seeing your photo with a little snippet of what was coming in that programme. That's even after 4 years, that seemed really weird still, because I suppose it was pretty much like now. Everybody films everything. Yeah. So I suppose you got used to it in a way like that. But it was just like going around the supermarkets. So because we, like I said, weren't getting paid. We're not actors, actresses, anything like that. So it was weird when you'd go shopping and people would go through your shopping trolley and like, oh, what do you eat? Food.
Caviar.
Food. I'm at the potato counter in my uniform, eating potatoes this week.
I don't eat. It's all just display.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of yourself as a celeb back then?
No.
No.
Not even now.
No.
No. I mean, I've always just been Jane. You know, I've always just been me. You know, we got a few nice trips out, but we got invited to a few nice do's from it, but nothing really happened. I think that I did get offered from some guy came down from a radio station years and years ago and said that they were interested in doing a TV programme travelling. But I think at the time I was so intent on building my career that I just thought if I did that and it didn't work out, I've just given up all these years of hard work to try and make it. In an industry where originally there was quite a lot of men up there and I wanted to be up there, and you know, so I wanted to concentrate on that. But yeah, who knows what would have happened if I'd have said yeah.
You could have been the new Jane McDonald.
Do you know, I know everyone says that.
You could have been Jane McDonald cruising, but flying around though. On a boat.
I should be doing travel programmes, I think.
Should be.
I should be. I think I should be the one. You know the EasyJet adverts we see and we're going on holiday? That should be me.
See, they're missing a trick here.
I know. What can I say?
Stelios don't do it no more, does it?
No.
Oh.
EasyJet PR.
If EasyJet PR are watching the
advertising. Hello.
Get Jane on. Get her on your flights. Get her on your advert.
I mean, there's no one who would sell it who is more of an advocate for EasyJet than me.
Do you still fly?
I still have orange blood. I only really fly EasyJet.
Do you?
Yeah. I think I love EasyJet. I think it was out of all the airlines that I worked with over the years working in the industry, EasyJet was always my favourite. And everyone that's worked for EasyJet or still, whether we are all called the Orange family. And I'm still in touch with hundreds of people that I've worked with over various airports. And it's once it's in your blood, you know, I would go back to EasyJet tomorrow in a heartbeat. They're just such a fantastic company to work for.
See, listen to this. This is how you do it.
Yes.
It's a gunner on that flight.
I don't know if I'd go back to check-in though.
No, God, no, God. I think you'd get away with a lot more now.
I'd like to do training.
Oh, that would be great. You customer service training?
Oh yeah, I'm a trainer as well. So yeah, I'd like to do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even I'd come and work for EasyJet for that. Imagine being taught by the Jane Boulton.
Coming in. Right, sit up.
Right, tossers.
Are we ready? No. Oh my God, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Right, tossers.
Definitely not say
How's
that.
It going?
Yeah.
I'll ask you to watch your mouth, please.
Yes, we do not say that.
Yeah. So you spoke about your kids and about space, you know, them seeing you become this viral meme and internet sensation. Like, how does it make them feel? So how old are your kids?
So I have got a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old twin girls, 3 girls.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit embarrassed, I think, is probably the word. Yeah, the oldest one most definitely, because I did have an interview. I did get approached for Celebrity Big Brother.
Well, this was going to be one of my
questions. I know. I didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But, you know, I think, but my eldest was like, please don't do it. Do not do it, Mum. I'll be so embarrassed. And I was like, well, but this could be really good for us. Or really bad. But I think my I don't know. It would have been nice. Yeah, my twins are a little bit less embarrassed, I suppose is the word I would use. Just less embarrassed. But sometimes they think it's great and sometimes they're mortified.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I kind of get it. Well, I'm older now. I'm 35, so it's a bit older. It's a bit different for me because I think if my mum became a celebrity, all of us now I'd be a little bit like hang about. But like, I think when you're at school age,
I think it's because their mates are going up to them. We're following your mum on TikTok.
Yeah, anything and everything embarrasses you.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like when you're there, and especially because you came from an era of reality TV that was so brand new.
Yeah.
And now everyone's doing it.
There's
reality TV about absolutely everything and anything. They'll put anyone on there, German Collins. But I think that I love you. But I think that the biggest part about it is that you were so loved back then, and it's radiated through now.
Yeah,
watch it now, and we know the reason we fell in love with you. You were so real. You could have been someone's mum, someone's auntie, someone's sister, you know, someone's daughter. Like you were that normal.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to find that now. And I was going to ask you a question about this actually, is the difference between reality TV then to reality TV now. What do you think is the biggest disconnect there?
I think what you saw back in our day was real and raw, and just people dare I say it, obviously as a mum of teenage girls, normal people that looked normal. There was no there was no pressure that you have now to look a certain way. What you saw was what you get. Totally. There was, I suppose that when I think about it now, like I think about my children and what, and all teenagers, and anywhere you go, you just drive down the street and everyone's just taking pictures, and there's so much stuff on social media about how you should look, even with the filters and everything. Like, people just, for me, aren't themselves anymore. And I just think it sets the wrong message that people expect. I say to my children all the time, you don't have to look like that. You don't have to be like that. That's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
And, the way children, and I'm saying children because children do their makeup now, is amazing. But why would you, as a child who doesn't understand how an adult feels when they see someone who they think looks like an adult, want to look like that? I get we all want to look older when we're younger, but I just think it's quite scary. I think we've come into a world that, in one hand, has moved on with the times, and I think that's so fantastic. But on the flip side of that, people are trying to look like something they're not really.
Yeah.
You go out, and I said to my husband, Christ, some people, they'd go out on a date with someone. If they saw them the next day with makeup, they think they were someone completely different.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. The girls are afraid of being themselves.
Yeah.
Which to me is really sad, because everyone is beautiful. It doesn't matter what size, shape, anything you are, just celebrate that rather than worrying about contouring. As you can tell, I don't contour because I don't know how to contour. But you know what I mean? It's just, I just think great for a night out.
Yeah.
But
it's almost
daily.
Where's the difference? Like, like back in the day when you'd go on a work night out and you'd see somebody in work, and then you'd like see them on a night out and you go, bloody hell, you look well.
Yeah, I know.
You see the difference.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
But that was it. You got dolled up before. And I think, people that, there's just so much pressure to put all this makeup on and it look good just to go to school.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge worrying effect, I think. And I think the refreshing thing about seeing people like yourself coming back forward is where we can go to the younger generation, we can go, that there was so acceptable to look like this. And not saying that you looked awful or anything like that.
No, but it just normal rather than everybody looking the same,
Sets of eyelashes on, your extensions and your this, and as you say, the contouring and stuff. And then you go, how the bloody hell do you get to work for 9 o'clock?
I know. Could you imagine if I had those massive eyelashes on when I was a dispatcher? When them engines turned on, I would have been off. I'd have been off down the runway. Whee! Can you imagine?
I just loved it.
Bye.
But that was it, wasn't it? I think
I know.
We can go to different aspects of any career or any field, and we always see these people, and it's not just the women. It's not just like the blokes are trying so hard as well to keep up with everyone and be the pretty boy and to be there.
Yeah,
it's really tough, and I think it's in today's world, and I truly believe this is why you coming back and being once again so popular is because you brought a sense of that realism.
Oh, I hope so. I'd like. I mean, that's lovely to say. I'd like to think that is that. Yeah, I mean, that's lovely.
Yeah, and I think it is, and I think that we struggle today. The peer pressure.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Every single person that we see in every magazine, on every Instagram post, on every TV show, looking like they are worth $1 million.
Yeah, and edited so much.
Yeah,
so much.
Really happy like that. That's an upkeep. A is an expense, but B, it's like that's mentally draining.
And I think mentally, also over time, makes you think that you're not good enough normally.
Yeah,
you have to put on this facade and this face to be accepted.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's such a shame. And any young girls and young boys out there watching this, look how successful you can be without wearing a scrap of makeup.
Well, I mean, I have got a bit on today. I'll be honest. Look at us getting deep.
I know.
Who knew?
I only came to slag off Stelios. I don't know what's happening. But no, it's so refreshing, and I think that when I saw you coming back around again, and I keep saying it like it's been decades and decades and decades, but it's been...
It has. It's been 20 years.
Like 20 years.
I think it's longer than 20 years, because I think we went on this morning about 3 years ago for the 20th anniversary of it.
Oh, wow.
Coming out. But obviously, it hasn't not been on TV for 20 because it was on TV for about 7 or 8, I think, because it continued after I moved on to other airports. But yeah, it's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was a mere young thing.
You were like a fetus.
I was about your age, actually.
You were younger than me.
Oh, how old was I? Well, I'm 1970, girl.
You're only 18 years older than me.
Well, that's quite a lot. Old enough to be your mother.
80? Depends where you come from.
Well, I mean, I would have done. But I could have done.
Yeah, you probably are. So, I think that I think that when we talk about kind of like EasyJet and the nostalgia of it, it's really bizarre because even though EasyJet is still going now, there's still a nostalgic feeling with everybody that goes into an airport and sees EasyJet, and it's almost like seeing a car with manual windows with like a pull down. It's like this nostalgia of being, oh my god, like, oh, I remember that. I remember seeing all
exactly.
and I remember seeing all this, and I think it's brought this nostalgia back of so much of a better time. So, what was your best memory of filming there?
I think for me, my best memories always were when they actually showed what I loved doing the most, and that was helping the elderly. So there was Mrs. Grasdall, I think her name was. No, it wasn't. Was it? I can't remember. The old lady that didn't know where she was going, that was going on a pilgrimage holiday. Bless her little heart. And then there was an older guy, an old man who had a funny turn at the airport. So got him transferred for free, sent him to the hospital to get checked. And he was there for a few hours and came back and sent him on a later flight. But he was on his own. So he had to, and I was on shift, and I really wanted to say, can I just go to the hospital and be with him? And when he came back, I bought him a sandwich and everything. I made sure he had something to eat before he went. But because he reminded me of my granddad at the time. And then there was another lady that nobody ever saw because they weren't filming that day. There was a really old lady that had missed her flight. And it was a late flight. It was one of the later flights to Scotland in the evening. So the next one wasn't till the following day. So I took her back to my flat and we had dinner and she stayed at my house. And I took her back in the morning. But that's me. So I'm quite empathetic and tactile and that. But you didn't get to see the real side of me very often. You just got to see me going, nah. It's not happening.
We found a more sympathetic ear, but then we come across Jane Boulton.
But I had rules to abide by, and that's what I did.
However, can we just say on camera that please don't just turn up to Jane Boulton's house now and think you're going to stay the night?
No, God, no. Even if you're elderly, no. I don't have any room anyway.
Don't drop your nans off at her house when you go out.
Well, I might not let you have them back.
Yeah.
I haven't got any grandparents anymore. I might keep them.
So, don't send any pensioners to Jane Boulton's house. Her husband's going to kick off. So that's the sympathetic side.
Yeah.
We loved the I wouldn't say it was aggressive. That's the word.
Fiery,
bolshy, kind of very much.
Had enough, said no 10 times, and now I'm going to say no again.
Yeah.
In a firmer way.
My remembering of it as a younger lad back then was I used to go, people can't be that thick. People can't get to an airport and realise they've forgotten their passport. Well,
yeah, that happens more often than you think. Or they've been the wrong one. And it's not only because they're Russian, and I hate to be sexist, but it was normally the guys, the businessmen, to be fair. But yeah, and I think as well, obviously when I was firmer than normal during the day, obviously there were cameras everywhere behind the check-in desk. So they would hear something happening. They would hear the agent say, your passport's expired, you've bought your child's passport, you haven't got your passport, or, your car's not even parked and the flight's closing. So they could hear it. So by that time they would be pleading, oh, please, please, please. And then they would say, well, because they never, ever listened to the agent. It always had to be said by a manager or a supervisor or someone. And then it was like, oh, okay then. Yeah. That used to really annoy me because I thought those guys are trained to do their job.
Yeah.
So please don't question them because I'm not going to say anything different.
Yeah.
So then I used to come in. So of course, as soon as they saw me clopping over, here she comes with the swagger. Then it was like, oh my God, it's going to get juicy.
Yeah.
Especially because most of them, obviously when you go into the airport, people do the most bizarre things and people get really stressed. And I suppose I would, if I missed a flight, I would be upset. And I suppose, I know now from training customer service and dealing with it for so long, it's just someone's emotions coming out and you're the only person they can take it out on.
Yeah.
So they get quite rude. And there's only so much rudeness anybody really can take before you get firmer, I suppose.
Yeah, and you didn't take very much rudeness at all.
No, because I just think, at the end of the day, by the time you saw what was being aired, they'd probably been told a minimum of 4 to 5 times. It was always the ones that got aired. They'd been told over and over again by multiple people before it got to me.
Yeah.
So then when you got in there and you said, no, my colleagues are correct, this is the policy, rah, 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 and then they kick off.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would get called in because they've actually made one of my staff members cry. But that was never shown. So I used to go down, someone was upstairs crying their hours out because they'd called them this, that and the other. So I used to go in probably a bit.
On the bounce.
Yeah, really, sometimes, especially if they'd really upset someone.
Yeah.
Especially Katrina when she was ill. Because some people were so rude to Katrina, and that, I suppose because she was my friend, or still is my friend, it touched a nerve. When you saw your colleagues and your friends upset by someone, it did touch a nerve.
Yeah. Do you still keep in touch with a lot of them? I know you said that.
Yes, I do keep in touch with most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, near enough all of them. Thanks to the powers of Facebook. A lot of them I stayed in close contact with. They came to my wedding and, my hen, stuff like that. But lost touch with hundreds over the years. And then Facebook came in, got in touch with almost everyone again. We've had reunions since and everything. It's been great.
Oh, imagine an EasyJet reunion.
Oh, it's
You still keep in touch with some of them. It's a family vibe, which I love, which is great. I think my thing that I used to always think about, I'll take it back a little bit to when people forgot stuff and that side of things. Like truthfully, Jane, there is more chance of me forgetting my suitcase than there is of me forgetting my passport.
Really?
I just don't know how people do it. And I used to sit there with my nan and be like, no, there's something wrong with these people. Like, and it brings me to this. I used to sit there and my nan used to go, it's all fixed. It's all fixed. Yeah. They're actors. They're paying them. Did you get that a lot from people?
Yeah. I think even now people ask if I'm doing a live on TikTok, I would say, was it all fixed? In fact, actually yesterday, there's some news page on TikTok that keeps putting old clips up, and somebody who's probably only about 25, 30 said, this was all fixed and staged. So I replied and said, actually, that was me. And no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was never staged. We never reran anything, which I think, to be fair, sometimes, depending on who was there, used to annoy the camera crew a little bit because they used to say, could you just do, if I'd done something on my own, and what, can you just do that again? It was like, no, because I'm working. So you either get it when it happens or you don't.
God.
That was it for me. I was very much, this is my job. This is what I get paid to do. You're not paying me. And I don't want to have to deal with anything that's not particularly present any longer than I have to. We deal with it. Customer gets sorted out. We move on to the next. And particularly when there's days when there's a major disruption and people screaming all day long. No, it was never fixed. And those things really did happen with people.
So people really are stupid. Not everyone.
Forgetful.
No, I mean, Jane.
I think that some people were so desperate, like that guy that wanted to go to Amsterdam, that had left his car outside and was going to leave his car there to get on a flight. I mean, I'm sorry, but if the business meeting is that important, just get there a little bit earlier. As I always said, it is easy if you get here on time, because that was the truth of it. I don't even know how that sentence ever came out, but
it did, and it became a moment.
I think it should be on an aircraft somewhere.
I do.
Slogan. Could you imagine?
I think we should have. Remember with the old wristbands that used to say WWJD? What would Jesus do? I feel like we should have on the side of a plane. What would Jane do?
What, and then the other side they call someone a
yeah. Just be going naff all because I'm on the fly.
Yeah, bye bye.
I got here on time. So you become iconic for your catchphrases.
Yeah.
For your quips, for your moment. Have you always been that kind of fiery, quick-witted person?
Yeah, I think I have. I think I've never really been. Well, when I was younger, believe it or not, I was actually quite shy. And then as I got older, and I think working with people definitely makes you feel more confident when you're working with different types of people all day long. And then I became a trainer where I had to obviously deliver training to, many people at a time. And I suppose you just grow in confidence. I think it's not like for me, I suppose, in the airport, I knew the policies inside out. So I knew what I was saying. So I didn't have to double think anything. So, and I think, when you're saying the same things over and over all day long, I do like to think that I can be quite funny sometimes. So,
I do. I agree.
So yeah, if I could get the real me in sometimes, then yeah, sometimes it just happened. And I look back now and I think, oh my God, I've got key rings and baggage tags with my slogans on.
And that, like, for me,
is
the epitome of capitalising on something.
Well, I had so many companies said to me when it all went out, let us make this for you, let us make this. And I thought, you know what? I've got my own business. I run my own business anyway. Why don't I pay to have them made? And then that way I can make sure they're good quality, not charge too much for them. I don't make much profit on them, but I like what I've had made, and people have bought them, which I'm ever so grateful for. It's ironic, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
Bloody bad.
And do you know what? Like it to me, it's so well deserved.
Oh,
I
thanks.
think that you've stood this test of time without even trying, and there are people out there. EasyJet. God, I'm slagging EasyJet off again now. So Airline was still filming.
Yeah.
And you left, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. And I think it was a bit of a shock because it all happened so quickly. So, sorry, squeaky sofa. Wasn't mine. So yeah, I was, when the series was coming to an end, when I was just before I left, I had at that point changed my jobs, done quite a few different things. I'd worked in passenger services. I'd gone over to dispatch. I had managed everything airside, or dispatch and everything departures. And then I became a passenger operations manager. And they said, look, we've just taken over as the handling agent. So handling agents pay airlines to look after everything on the ground. So I worked for a handling agent at the time. And they said that they've just taken over Aer Lingus from Heathrow. Would I like to go over there as the business startup and operations manager? And of course, for me, who wanted to get up there, it was an opportunity that I couldn't miss. Yeah. And it was a massive learning curve, and it was brilliant. So I went there, loved the staff, loved Aer Lingus, hated Heathrow with a vengeance. I just didn't ever feel comfortable in the airport. And then, but then they took over the handling of EasyJet at Belfast. So I got to go back to my beloved EasyJet and started the business. And I stayed in Belfast for about a year, and I loved it. The hotel that I stayed in, literally Monday to Friday, I got to know all the staff. You get sick of having the same meal all the time. Yeah. So I could ring down and the chef would cook me something, and they looked after me so well that my last breakfast at the hotel was served with the Bloody Mary.
Oh, lovely.
I know. They gave me all these free dressing gowns, slippers. Oh my God, I was in my element. And then, yeah, so I travelled, I moved around a lot, and I suppose with my role then, I used to go and troubleshoot and help out other airports. So I went to Birmingham. Yeah. I went to, did you like that with the Birmingham accent a little bit?
Yeah.
Manchester, Stansted. And then, I went back to, after Belfast, I then went to Gatwick, which is near my hometown. Like, I'm literally 25 minutes from Gatwick where I live. And I loved it there. But then I got pregnant. So I took maternity leave. And then I had twins after my daughter, so I just had more children.
Yeah.
And then I did go back for a little bit, but I was working for a different company then. But I was looking after EasyJet at Glasgow.
Yeah.
And then I looked after EasyJet at Glasgow, Newcastle, and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Before I finally, after many years, gave it up in about 2018, 2019.
So it wasn't that long ago?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I left around then. I did actually go back to Heathrow for a short period as well. But yeah, so I left it because my twins were born 2 months early. So they were very prem. In their first 2 years, they were in and out of hospital a lot. And it just got to the stage where I was coming home when they'd fallen ill and they were being taken into hospital while I was travelling back on a flight. And it just thought, I need to put my family first for a bit. And I've been at home ever since, really. And so I started up my cake and party business, and I've been doing that.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
Life after Airline. What happened? So it was 2018 that you finally kind of left the airport business.
Yeah, I got some normal jobs. I did do some normal jobs. I became a registered childminder.
Okay.
When I had the children, because it was that was easy enough to work from home with the children. I then started up my own training consultancy business, Jane Boulton Training Solutions, or JB Training Solutions as it was called. And I actually trained customer service on behalf of EasyJet to all of the Gatwick and the Luton staff. So I did that, and I loved that. Plus, I did other training for other people. I actually went out to Jordan and did some train the trainer stuff, which was great for another company. And then I sort of. Then that started growing and I started having to be away again. And I thought, my God, what am I doing? As much as I loved the training consultancy, the children were too young for me to be away again. So from the back of becoming a childminder and cooking with the children, we used to make cakes. My cake business grew, and kids' parties at the weekend, sort of pamper parties, grew. I don't do those anymore, hasten to add. I do dress up and do elf visits at Christmas, though.
Lovely.
Yes, I'm Elodie the Elder at Christmas.
Oh.
Because I am a Christmas freak, so I do like that. So the cake business has grown and grown. So I do birthdays, weddings, all of that.
So was there? So I know you left Airline, the show. I know you'd left kind of pretty early on, I guess, and it still continued for a few more years.
Yeah.
Did you genuinely at all kind of struggle to get back to normality? Because you'd gone from being seen by like I think averaging 10 million viewers, wasn't it? Something like that.
I don't think anything really for much changed for me. The only thing that was different was people used to stare quite a lot, and people would talk to you like they knew you when they didn't really know you.
Yeah.
And apart from that, nothing for me ever changed. I just went about my business and did everything completely normal. My friend group didn't really change, so nothing like that. There was no not being normal anymore, apart from getting used to people looking. I think my twin sister probably had a harder time of it. I've got an identical twin. So she would go out and people would go, "Oh, you're Jane Boulton." She'd go, "No, it's my twin sister." And then some people would go, "No, it's not. It's definitely you." She'd go, "No, seriously, it isn't me." But they didn't believe her.
Yeah.
Because I probably should have had her on there at one point just to say I do have a twin.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I would say it didn't change me at all. My life didn't change. Might have done if I got paid for it.
Gotta take.
I'd have moved back to Lanzarote, got my apartment. Adios, everyone.
So now you're back.
I am.
You're back in the spotlight because it is the spotlight. You know, you've been on This Morning. You've been on a few other podcasts. You've been getting seen all over again. And as we all know, it, like as you've so rightly seen, it has a shelf life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To a point. And I think that the most relatably like grounded thing about you is that you were like, so I went and became a childminder and I went and did this and did this. It wasn't like I was trying to run and do all of these other TV shows and give me this and give me that. Like,
no, others were
they?
And others did try. But I was very much like, that's not what we trained for. We worked at an airport.
Yeah.
Let's not make ourselves into something that we're really not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was never me. Like I said, I got offered an opportunity and I was like, well,
yeah.
What if that doesn't work out? What do I do? This is my job.
Yeah.
So I think I'm quite grounded like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it shows and it exudes. And I think that, when I look back at that, when I look back at the Airline days, and I used to always go like, that's my Auntie Tracy, that's my mum, like we feel like you mentioned about people talking to you like they know you. It's because we feel like we know you and we feel like we can relate to you, and you feel like I see you around my mum's kitchen table,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Chin wagging.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to find that. So moving on now, what are your thoughts? Have you got a taste for the entertainment bug again?
Listen, I wouldn't say never to anything. I would love to do something. I'd love to go on I'm a Celebrity.
Oh my god,
I would love
really?
that. 2 weeks away from not washing and ironing and cooking dinner and worrying about the weekly shop. Yes. Sunshine, yes. Would I have to go near things that I don't like and do things that I don't like? Yes. But could I just sit there and gossip with people that I think are actual celebrities?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Definitely.
Oh my God. If we see Jane,
that would be so hilarious, wouldn't it? I wouldn't eat for a month before I went on there. But
Jungle Jane.
Jungle Jane, yeah. I think that last year somebody did hashtag get Jane in the jungle, Jungle Jane. Well, it never blooming happened, did it? So but yeah, I'd love to do something to get something out of it that I would feel comfortable doing that isn't something that isn't me.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, for sure, 100%. I'm open to most offers.
Yeah. Almost anything.
Any idea, should I say, rather than most offers. That sounds terrible. But yeah, I'd if it could go somewhere and do something that I'm at an age now where I could sit back and decide what's good for me, what's good for the family, what would I enjoy, then Absolutely. But I think, do you know what I'd love more than anything? I want to have a float down on Pride on an orange chair with orange wings.
Do you know something?
Waving.
I will tell you this now.
I'd love that.
How that hasn't already happened.
I know.
Is beyond.
Whoever organises that Pride, sort it out.
I would start pulling some strings. I don't know anyone.
I would so love that.
Some strings.
I would so love that. Because I have a massive gay following, which I love. Because like most of my best friends, you know, in the industries that I've worked in, you know, we're all girls together. I love it.
You were like,
I love it.
So unintentionally camp.
I know I am. I am. It's because I hang around with my camp friends.
Yeah, you're so
I've picked up the traits off them. We're all camped together. We love it. We love it.
And I think that was why when me growing up going, love her. Like
spent too many weekends in GAY and the Shadow Lounge.
Yeah. God, yeah.
Let me tell you on my hen weekend. Well, I went to Spain for my hen weekend and we went into this drag club. Oh my God, it was so amazing. I was dressed as Dorothy, by the way, from Wizard of Oz.
Well, no wonder they loved you.
Yeah, so I walked in and that was that first one. Then they realised who I was. Oh my God, I didn't pay for a drink or not. I was in my element. And I said to my husband, when I got back, I was in the safest place I could be.
Yeah.
Nobody was a threat.
Yeah.
It was just, we had the best night. The best night.
And I think that's the other thing as well. You were a gay icon and you are still now turned into even more of it.
And I love that. I absolutely, I love it. Bring it on. I love it.
I think that, you know, you are this, you're every gay boy's best friend.
Oh.
You're every gay, I grew up and I was just like, I wanted to be like my auntie, like, you know, and you should never say, I wish she was my mom. Like, you know, when people go like, you should never ever say that. Nothing wrong with my mom, but she'll kick off when she sees it. But like, it was just like this unintentionally like camp but sassy but just strong female. And as we discussed earlier, that wasn't very rare. That was common.
And I think, I've always been an advocate. I always think, you know, if you're happy in life, it doesn't matter who you love and who loves you.
Yeah.
As long as they treat you right and you're happy, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think anyone has the right to say otherwise.
Yeah.
I still find it shocking still now that, you know, there's so many religions and things like that are just like, oh no, that's not right. You can't do that. And I think, well, why can you not do that? Why are there still barriers in 2024? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's mad.
We've still got such a long way to go.
We've
come a long way.
But we've come a long way.
Yeah.
But
there's still more to go.
There is still more to do. Use me for that too.
Yeah. Put her on the telly with the gays.
Yes, absolutely.
If Jane Boutlon can do it, Jane Boulton can do it. That's what I say.
I know.
It's something about the Janes and being gay icons.
It is.
It's got to be.
Jane and I need to get together.
Oh my God. Do you know what? That would break the internet.
It would be brilliant.
Break the internet. If Jane Boulton and Jane McDonald, two of the most iconic Janes to have ever graced this planet.
Yeah.
Even to just be in the same room. I feel like the energy would just, there'd be glitter falling from the stars.
I know. She could do the singing.
Yeah. You could be kicking off.
Yeah, I'll be kicking off in the background.
You'd be going, oi, tosser. No.
I'll be doing my old lady dancing in the background. You all right?
I think we could. I think it would be the reunion. It wouldn't even be a reunion. Have you met Jane yet?
No, never.
There you go. This is just like the meeting.
But I have met the most wonderful, iconic person who I love to bits, Alison Hammond. I've met her a few times now.
Old Alison.
Because of Alison, we have the same agent. Because of Alison. She's just...
Another Brummie.
She's just so amazingly beautiful inside and out. I love her.
And Alison is another one who has been around for such a long time.
Started in the same way I did.
Yeah, in reality TV. When reality TV was literally reality.
And she's still the same. Yeah. She's just so down to earth and grounded. She doesn't change for anyone.
Yeah.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we don't see that enough. And I think especially, I'm going to get cancelled off what I'm about to say, but especially with women who are no longer in their 20s and these little dolly birds and whatever else, they almost feel like they have a shelf life. They almost go like, the moment that younger things come in, you know, I'm going to be replaced. And I think it's a testament to that we find real women
Yeah.
And we find these real role models for our kids and for mothers out there as well. And I think that's it. You know, have mothers that's at home have got nobody to look up to other than, you know, these Towie girls and Geordie Shore girls. And it's, you know, and then
so teaching your children, be who you are.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting anyone. Don't try and be somebody you're not.
Yeah. And I think we see that, and we see that in you, and we see that in Alison as well. And, you know, we see it, and it's not championed enough, I don't think.
Exactly. You don't need to be a size 0.
No.
You don't need to be covered in a face of makeup with lashes that you can take off in.
Yeah.
You just need to be, you know, celebrate who you are. Yeah. You know, everyone comes in every different shape, size, form, everything. You know, it's mad.
Yeah.
The world has gone mad. I sound like my mum did 20 years ago.
I told you, this was like getting my mum's coffee table. So to just kind of, what I say to every guest that I have is, the reason this is called Passing the Crown is because I always say, you know, first of all, you're a queen. And I can say that about Jane Boulton. Jane effing Boulton is here. The least sympathetic woman in Britain.
But I am, really.
Yeah, but the most lovely woman. The reason I call it Passing the Crown is because people always ask me why Passing the Crown. And I always say it's because these people are leading something in their own way and doing it their own way. And when it comes to passing that on, what do you pass on to the next Jane Boulton, the next person that has a camera crew following them around in a supermarket, for example, and everyone starts to like go, right, 10 million viewers watching this person.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to that person? Just
don't become someone you're not. Just stay true to yourself. Never change who you are for anyone. Never accept anything that you wouldn't have your mum, your dad, your parents, grandparents, children. If you wouldn't want something to happen to them like that, don't go down that route yourself. Just always be 100% true to yourself and do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And don't change for anyone. Because if someone doesn't think you're good enough, then they're not good enough for you.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Absolutely. And I, you know, we definitely, I don't know why I looked at the cameras and because I'm not allowed to tell people anything. I think we, as the age that we're at, as what I say in the age of technology that we're at, mental health is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
But mental health problems are at an all-time high. And for me, for somebody who has continuously strived for some sort of perfection and acceptance. And I have strived for that for 35 years. And the reason I always say to people always say to me, why do you live in the 90s? Why do you go back and watch Gimme, Gimme, Gimme and Keeping Appearances? And do you know, why do you go back and watch it? And why are you upset? And I remember a friend of mine recently, I went, do you remember Jane Boulton? And she went, no. And I went, Jane Boulton from Airline. And she went, oh, yeah. She was like, the gobby one on the desk. I went, yeah, that was so stupid. I went, do you remember her? And I was like saying, oh, she's back round and she's iconic. And she went, and my friend said, Ashley, how is it that only you would know something like that? And I said, because some of my fondest memories were from a time when I was not trying to strive to be anything. And the people that I looked up to, the people that were my heroes, were these people, mainly women, but were these people who knew exactly who they were, knew exactly what they brought to the plate, had no problem with putting you in your place, but did it from a place of love.
Yeah.
And that's why today, for me to sit here in front of you is like, if my nan was still with us now, God bless her, if she was still with us now, she'd be sat there crying her eyes out. Well, she wouldn't, she'd be in here. But she'd be going, I'm coming with you.
Have a cup of tea together.
Yeah. But I think that it brings, what you bring is a memory of safetyness and a memory of acceptance. And that's why the gays love you. That's why you are so loved now all over again, is that we see these videos and we go, oh my God, why can't we have her on our telly? Well, and the thing everyone says, why can't she be running our country?
I know, I get that. Jane for PM, Jane for, oh my God, could you just imagine? The world would be, oh my God, I don't want to go there. But you know, that's so lovely.
And that's what you pass, and that's what you pass to me. And I always, anyone, and I haven't been doing this podcast for very long, and anyone who who I want to sit here and do this podcast with, I always think, what can they pass to me? What can they pass to me? And to sit here, I feel like I've known you for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I have.
Oh.
Because you were in my living room. You were in my nan's living room. And we are so grateful for you. Honestly.
Thank you. That's so lovely.
So grateful in a world at the moment where everyone is obsessing about being skinny, pretty, how many times a week we're supposed to have sex, how many times we're supposed to weigh, what we're supposed to eat. And everyone is pretending they're doing it, but nobody's doing it.
No.
Nobody's doing it.
No.
And to have this icon come along again and go, I'm here to promote your gummy bears. I'm not here to promote your eyelashes and your this and your that. I'll do it.
Little smaller eyelash extensions.
but I'm not here to promote all of that.
No.
Anything that is a competition for somebody to feel like they need to be prettier or slimmer or anything like that. And I feel that when you came along, and I've been doing I do research. I'm not a journalist, but I do research. And when I was doing research and I was YouTubing videos and all of that, it took me back to that safe place.
Oh.
And it took me back to the most amazing Friday nights of sitting there with Jane, with your crew, and just being so safe. And I can only thank you for that. And
thank you. That's amazing.
And honestly, and I think as a mother of 3 young daughters, to have a mother now in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form, they are so lucky that it's you that is doing that. And and so I can just thank you and keep thanking you for that.
Oh, you're so kind. That's really touching. Thank you.
Well, that's how I feel. And if I don't get a free EasyJet flight out of this,
I can't give an EasyJet flight, but I have bought some of my bits for you.
Well, I'll have some of
my
your
merchandise.
Bits. Not
some of it. You wouldn't want my bits. Nobody wants to see that.
I'm in Jane Boulton's arm and taking it away with me. There is one thing though that I wanted to also pass on. Because this is called passing the crown, and because it would cost me a bloody fortune to keep buying crowns, I have, however, I have a tendency to buy people mugs.
Oh,
right. So this is your mug.
Thank you. Can I open it now?
Of course you can. I'd like you to show it to the camera as well. So we have the
passing the crown mug.
And
instead, she's found Jane Boulton.
That's favourite saying.
Wonderful.
Of all time.
Thank you. Do you know what? I sold some of my mugs and I didn't keep any. I didn't even keep one for me, and now I have one.
Now you have.
Thank you. A very special one.
A very special one.
Thank you, darling. That's lovely. I'm gonna put it in the box and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna have a coffee in that when I get in.
You're gonna have a brew.
I am, and I'm not gonna let any of the kids touch it. That's mine.
No, that gets smashed.
Thank you. That's lovely.
But yeah, so I can only thank you.
Thank you.
What's next? Talk to me about the cake business that we have.
Well, I'm just doing normal things, really. So, at the moment, I'm still a working mum of 3. And so if something great comes up and an opportunity comes up and it's exciting and it's the real me and it works for my family, then, yeah, I'd be open. Yeah. To anything.
I think... Almost. They're on Splash. What was that one? They dived off the board.
Oh God, no. No. No, I don't think anyone needs to see me like that.
Strictly?
No, I couldn't do Strictly because this is the real me. I am postmenopausal, sniffs in a croissant and puts on £5 type of person now. So, no, my knees wouldn't do Strictly, unfortunately. No, I would have loved to about 10 years ago, but no, I couldn't do it now. Couldn't do Strictly or Dancing on Ice. I'd end up with a broken neck.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I always, when Anne Widdecombe was on Strictly?
Yeah.
That would be me in the yellow dress being swung around. that would be me.
Not
100%. I just have to come in flying in on one of them things that they put you on.
Yeah.
Touch you on. That would be me. That would be my dancing done.
Okay. Well, Strictly, sorry.
No. I'm a celebrity, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm open to anything, pretty much. I'd always have...
Maybe.
Again, I would, definitely.
Well, I mean,
definitely.
I'd to see you in Celebrity Big Brother. That was going to be one of my things. And I think that we'll just keep getting the hashtags going for Get Jane on our telly again.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
We need to see more of you.
Yeah.
The new Gloria Hunniford.
Oh, well, yeah, but just a bit older than me.
I mean, well, I can't
say
old about her either, can I?
The renewed Jane Boulton.
Jane Boulton.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do it that.
Doing the travelling shows.
Yeah. But for now, we'll do my cake business. Yeah. I'll sell my merchandise.
Exactly. And where can we get your stuff from?
So, it's quite. I use it from my Sum Up store, which I use for my business.
Yeah.
But on my TikToks, the website address is on there. But I bought some things today. So you do have to put the thing on. So you've got a luggage tag. It's easy if you get here on time, and it's an aircraft, not a bus.
This is like better than Christmas.
What would Jane Boulton do? Pen. And I've got loads of key rings. So whatever key rings I've got, you can have. Coffee shop is not departures. Yeah. I think that one's the same one.
These are all going in my office.
Time. That's the same one.
It's easy if you get.
I should have actually prepared more for them.
And
you've got to have that one.
Tosser. This would be my favourite, guys. Tosser.
So you can give some of those out. Obviously, you won't want to keep them all yourself.
I bet you would do. I'll be walking around.
So we do key rings. We do key rings, badges, fridge magnets, pens, autographs.
Yeah.
Birthday
Are you on
cards.
Cameo?
I am on Cameo.
Cameo?
I am on Cameo. Jane Boulton Airline. I'm on Cameo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Everywhere we can find you. Jane Boulton.
Yeah, I do lots of birthdays and insults. Jane Boulton Airline, I think it is, on Cameo. And on TikTok. And on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, so we can find her everywhere, really.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the Facebook is just quite a new page.
Yeah.
The biggest one is TikTok.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the TikTok, she's the queen of TikTok now.
Well, I'm not actually. I'm pretending I am, but I'm not. I'm learning.
Are your daughters doing it?
I get, well, they try. I think they've got a bit bored with trying to tell me now.
Yeah.
That, as you'll see from most of my videos, they're pretty crap, but we're learning as we go along.
I love seeing your videos where you're just chatting and you're just nattering away.
Oh, I waffle all the time. Every time at the end of everyone, I go like, I'm waffling again.
I love
seriously.
I watch.
I mean, how can you have a conversation with yourself? But I do it all the time. I'm just talking a load of old rubbish.
It's easily done.
But they're the ones that get the most views. Me talking a load of old rubbish.
Exactly. That's because it's relatable.
So I'm just going to carry on talking a load of old craps.
Yeah.
Listeners to it.
And I can't wait to see more of what you do. And
Thank you.
I'm so excited and I'm so genuine. I shouldn't say this because I've had guests on and I've got other guests coming on at some point as well, but my favourite guest by far.
Oh, thank you.
The rest of the guests I do love though, please come back on.
I can have to say this has probably been one of my favourite interviews as well. It's been amazing. And I feel like I've known you forever.
Exactly. You have. I'm that guy outside your house. 20 years.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm not your bin man, really.
No, I know you're not. It's all right. I wouldn't
just go through them. But thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been lovely.
It's been a breath of fresh air. I am still in starstruck mode, and I encourage everybody and anybody who has lived under a rock, who doesn't know who Jane Boulton is, to Google Jane. I'm just worried about Googling people now.
Yeah, no, it does come up, Jane Boulton Airline. But it's Jane, and it's the posh Bolton, Boulton.
Not Bolton in Manchester area.
It's plain Jane, because people often put a Y in it.
Yeah.
And it's when they say, I'm your biggest fan, Jane, and they write J-A-1-E, and I think, really?
I don't even know my name.
Clearly not.
Biggest fan.
Jane with a Y and Bolton without the U. No, seriously, no.
So it's Jane Boulton, the posh one. And find her everywhere. Go and look at some of her best moments. And I'm so grateful.
Get that merch on your key rings and your suitcases.
This for me is...
They're good quality, aren't they?
They are very good quality. Not that I thought they wouldn't be, but these are very good quality. And my poor car key is going to be...
I know. Just probably break your shop.
No one's going to rob me car keys because they can't get in these.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much. Bye,
Thank you, darling.
Thanks, adore you. And I cannot wait to see more of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mwah.